بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم إني أفتتح الثناء بحمدك وأنت مسدد للصواب بمنك، وأيقنت بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم إني أفتتح الثناء بحمدك وأنت مسدد للصواب بمنك، وأيقنت أنك أنت أرحم الراحمين في موضع العفو والرحمة، وأشد المعاقبين في موضع النكال والنقمة، وأعظم المتجبرين في موضع الكبرياء والعظمة. اللهم أذنت لي في دعائك ومسألتك، فاسمع يا سميع مدحتي، وأجب يا رحيم دعوتي، وأغل يا غفور عثرتي. فكم يا إلهي من كربة قد فرجتها، وهموم قد كشفتها، وعثرة قد عقلتها، ورحمة قد نشرتها، وحلقة بلاء قد فككتها. الحمد لله الذي لم يتخذ صاحبة ولا ولدا، ولم يكن له شريك في الملك، ولم يكن له ولي من الظلم، وكبره تكبيرا. الحمد لله بجميع محامده كلها، على جميع نعمه كلها. الحمد لله الذي لا مضاد له في ملكه، ولا منازع له في أمره. الحمد لله الذي لا شريك له في خلقه، ولا شبيه له في عظمته. الحمد لله الفاشي في الخلق أمره وحمده، الظاهر بالكرم مجده، الباسط بالجود يده، الذي لا تنقص خزائنه ولا تزيده كثرة العطاء إلا جودا وكرما، إنه هو العزيز الوهاب. اللهم إني أسألك قليلا من كثير، مع حاجة بي إليه عظيمة، وغناك عنه قدير، وهو عندي كثير، وهو عليك سهل يسير. اللهم إن عفوك عن ذنبي، وتجاوزك عن خطيئتي، وصفحك عن ظلمي، وسترك على قبيح عملي، وحلمك عن كثير جرمي، عندما كان من خطئي وعمدي أطمعني في أن أسألك ما لا أستوجبه منك، الذي رزقتني من رحمتك وأريتني من قدرتك وعرفتني من إجابتك، فصرت أدعوك آمنا وأسألك مستأنسا، لا خائفا ولا وجلا، مدلا عليك فيما قصدت فيه إليك. فإن أبت عني عتبت بجهلي عليك، ولعل الذي أبطى عني هو خير لي لعلمك بعاقبة الأمور. فلم أر مولا كريما أصبر على عبد اللئيم منك علي يا رب. إنك تدعوني فأولي عنك، وتتحبب إلي فأتبغض إليك، وتتودد إلي فلا أقبل منك، كأن لي التطول عليك. فلم يمنعك ذلك من الرحمة لي والإحسان إلي والتفضل علي بجودك وكرمك. فارحم عبدك الجاهل وجود عليهم بفضل إحسانك، إنك جواد كريم. الحمد لله مالك الملك مجري الفلك مسخر الرياح فالق الإصباح ديان الدين رب العالمين. الحمد لله على حلمه بعد علمه، والحمد لله على عفه بعد قدرته، والحمد لله على طول أناته في غضبه، وهو قادر على ما يريد. الحمد لله خالق الخلق باسط الرزق فالق الإصباح ذي الجلال والإكرام والفضل والإنعام، الذي بعد فلا يرى وقرب فشهد النجوى تبارك وتعالى. الحمد لله الذي ليس له منازع يعادله، ولا شبيه يشاكله، ولا ظهير يعاضده. قهر بعزته العزة وتواضع لعظمته العظمى، فبلغ بقدرته ما يشاء. الحمد لله الذي يجيبني حين أنادي، ويستر على كل عورة وأنا أعصيه، ويعظم النعمة علي فلا أجازي. فكم من موهبة هنية قد أعطى، وعظيمة مخوفة قد كفى، وبهجة مونقة قد أراني، فأثني عليه حامدا وأذكره مسبحا. الحمد لله الذي لا يهتك حجابه ولا يغلق بابه ولا يرد سائله ولا يخيب آمله. الحمد لله الذي يؤمن الخائفين وينجي الصالحين ويرفع المستضعفين ويضع المستكبرين ويهلك ملوكا ويستخلف آخرين. والحمد لله قاصم الجبارين مبير الظالمين مدرك الهاربين نكال الظالمين صريخ المستصرخين موضع حاجات الطالبين معتمد المؤمنين. الحمد لله الذي من خشيته ترعد السماء وسكانها وترجف الأرض وعمارها وتموج البحار ومن يسبح في غمراته. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله. الحمد لله الذي يخلق ولم يخلق ويرزق ولا يرزق ويطعم ولا يطعم ويميت الأحياء ويحيي الموتى وهو حي لا يموت بيده الخير وهو على كل شيء قدير. اللهم صل على محمد عبدك ورسولك وأمينك وصفيك وحبيبك وخيرتك من خلقك وحافظ سرك ومبلغ رسالاتك أفضل وأحسن وأجمل وأكمل وأزكى وأنمى وأطيب وأطهر وأسنى وأكثر ما صليت وباركت وترحمت وتحننت وسلمت على أحد من عبادك وأنبيائك ورسلك وصفتك وأهل الكرامة عليك من خلقك. اللهم وصل على علي أمير المؤمنين ووصي رسول رب العالمين عبدك ووليك وأخي رسولك وحجتك على خلقك وآيتك الكبرى والنبأ العظيم. وصل على الصديقة الطاهرة فاطمة الزهراء سيدة نساء العالمين. وصل على سبطي الرحمة وإمامي الهدى الحسن والحسين سيدي شباب أهل الجنة. وصل على أئمة المسلمين علي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي والخلف الهادي المهدي حججك على عبادك وأمنائك في بلادك صلاة كثيرة دائما. اللهم وصل على ولي أمرك القائم المؤمل والعدل المنتظر، وحفه بملائكتك المقربين، وأيده بروح القدس يا رب العالمين. اللهم اجعله الداعي إلى كتابك والقائم بدينك. استخلفه في الأرض كما استخلفت الذين من قبله. مكن له دينه الذي ارتضيته له. أبدله من بعد خوفه أمنا، يعبدك لا يشرك بك شيئا. اللهم أعزه وأعزز به، وانصره وانتصر به، وانصره نصرا عزيزا، وافتح له فتحا يسيرا، واجعل له من لدنك سلطانا نصيرا. اللهم أظهر به دينك وسنة نبيك، حتى لا يستخفي بشيء من الحق مخافة أحد من الخلق. اللهم إنا نرغب إليك في دولة كريمة تعز بها الإسلام وأهله، وتذل بها النفاق وأهله، وتجعلنا فيها من الدعاة إلى طاعتك والقادة إلى سبيلك، وترزقنا بها كرامة الدنيا والآخرة. اللهم ما عرفتنا من الحق فحملنا، وما غصرنا عنه فبلغنا. اللهم المم به شعثنا، واشعب به صدعنا، وارتق به فتقنا، وكثر به قلتنا، وأعزز به ذلتنا، وأغن به عائلنا، واغض به عن مغرمنا، واجبر به فقرنا، وسد به خلتنا، ويسر به عسرنا، وبيض به وجوهنا، وفك به أسرنا، وأنجح به طلبتنا، وأنجز به مواعيدنا، واستجب به دعوتنا، وأعطنا به سؤلنا، وبلغنا به من الدنيا والآخرة آمالنا، وأعطنا به فوق رغبتنا يا خير المسؤولين وأوسع المعطين. اشف به صدورنا، واذهب به غيظ قلوبنا، واهدنا به لما اختلف فيه من الحق بإذنك، إنك تهدي من تشاء إلى صراط مستقيم. وانصرنا به على عدوك وعدونا إله الحق. آمين. اللهم إنا نشكو إليك فقد نبينا صلواتك عليه وآله، وغيبة ولينا، وكثرة عدونا، عددنا وشدة الفتن بنا وتظاهر الزمان علينا، فصل على محمد وآله وعنا على ذلك بفتح منك تعجل وبضر تكشف ونصر تعز وسلطان حق تظهر ورحمة منك تجللنا وعافية منك تلبسنا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم إني أفتتح الثناء بحمدك وأنت مسدد للصواب بمنك، وأيقنت أنك أنت أرحم الراحمين في موضع العفو والرحمة، وأشد المعاقبين في موضع النكال والنقمة، وأعظم المتجبرين في موضع الكبرياء والعظمة. اللهم أذنت لي في دعائك ومسألتك، فاسمع يا سميع مدحتي، وأجب يا رحيم دعوتي، وأغل يا غفور عثرتي. فكم يا إلهي من كربة قد فرجتها، وهموم قد كشفتها، وعثرة قد أغلتها، ورحمة قد نشرتها، وحلقة بلاء قد فككتها. الحمد لله الذي لم يتخذ صاحبة ولا ولدا، ولم يكن له شريك في الملك، ولم يكن له ولي من الظلم، وكبره تكبيرا. الحمد لله بجميع محامده كلها، على جميع نعمه كلها. الحمد لله الذي لا مضاد له في ملكه ولا منازع له في أمره. الحمد لله الذي لا شريك له في خلقه ولا شبيه له في عظمته. الحمد لله الفاشي في الخلق أمره وحمده، الظاهر بالكرم مجده، الباسط بالجود يده، الذي لا تنقص خزائنه ولا تزيده كثرة العطاء إلا جودا وكرما، إنه هو العزيز الوهاب. اللهم إني أسألك قليلا من كثير مع حاجة بي إليه عظيمة، وغناك عنه قديم، وهو عندي كثير، وهو عليك سهل يسير. اللهم إن عفك عن ذنبي وتجاوزك عن خطيئتي وصفحك عن ظلمي وسترك على قبيح عملي وحلمك عن كثير جرمي عندما كان من خطئي وعمدي، أطمعني في أن أسألك ما لا أستوجبه منك، الذي رزقتني من رحمتك وأريتني من قدرتك وعرفتني من إجابتك، فصرت أدعوك آمنا وأسألك مستأنسا لا خائفا ولا وجلا، مدلا عليك فيما قصدت فيه إليك. فإن أبت عني عتبت بجهلي عليك، ولعل الذي أبطى عني هو خير لي لعلمك بعاقبة الأمور. فلم أر مولا كريما أصبر على عبد اللئيم منك علي يا رب. إنك تدعوني فأولي عنك وتتحبب إلي فأتبغض إليك وتتودد إلي فلا أقبل منك، كأن لي التطول عليك. فلم يمنعك ذلك من الرحمة والإحسان إلي والتفضل علي بجودك وكرمك. فارحم عبدك الجاهل وجود عليهم بفضل إحسانك، إنك جواد كريم. الحمد لله مالك الملك مجري الفلك مسخر الرياح فالق الإصباح ديان الدين رب العالمين. الحمد لله على حلمه بعد علمه والحمد لله على عفه بعد قدرته، والحمد لله على طول أناته في غضبه، وهو قادر على ما يريد. الحمد لله خالق الخلق باسط الرزق فالق الإصباح ذي الجلال والإكرام والفضل والإنعام، الذي بعد فلا يرى وقرب فشهد النجوى، تبارك وتعالى. الحمد لله الذي
نبينا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد والصلاة والسلام على أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين، ولعنة الله على أعدائهم من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين، ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. وأما بعد، فقد قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في كتابه المتين: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم: وإذ يرفع إبراهيم القواعد من البيت وإسماعيل ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم. صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوات اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وجل فرجهم. Brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ramadan Mubarak to each and every one of you. We express our condolences to all of you and to mu'mineen and mu'minat worldwide this evening that we are commemorating the shahadat of Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wassalam. So, it's a pleasure to be back with you at the Noor Collective here in San Diego, California. It's my pleasure to be with you again. And for this year, for our last 10 days of Shahr Ramadan that we have together, inshallah, the title of our discussions is The Life and Legacy of Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam. You know, one thing that we see traditionally is that whenever we start a majlis, whenever we have some commemoration, some gathering, in the old days it was recommended that you always start with Zikr Ali. And you see that among some of like the old timers now in the centers. When they come, the first poem they're going to read, the first something that they're going to introduce to you is going to be Zikr Ali alayhi salatu wasalam. Zikr Ali, the mentioning and remembrance of Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam, is an ibadat. Itself, it's a type of worship, alhamdulillah. And that's why even we say, like for instance, even a sinner who has love of Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam in his heart, then even this sinner, we shouldn't judge him merely on the basis of his shortnesses, his weaknesses, his shortcomings, his weaknesses. We should keep in mind that he is and does have some of the love of Ali left in his heart. And this love of Ali alayhi salatu wasalam can lead the people back to Allah. So even in the case of a sinner, even in the case of a rebel, and you remember last time we were together, I think I'd mentioned to you the story of Rasul Turk, one of those people who was like a known bad guy. But he had love of Ahl Bayt alayhim salam in his heart. And so we can't just judge people based on that. We have to also keep in mind that they may be lovers of Amir al-Mu'mineen, and this love in itself can guide them back. The life of Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam itself, it's full of miracles. And in our time together, I want to go over the life of Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam with you over these 10 days. We're going to look at these miracles that are happening in his life, and we're going to take a close look at the effect of the life of Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam on the movement of Islam, and on the growth of Islam. And we're going to examine the legacy of Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam in light of this miraculous life that he led, this very active life that he led, to give us some insights into his miraculous nature and his contribution to the history of Islam. So with a salawat, let's begin inshaAllah. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So we have great respect and great love for Amir al-Mu'mineen, Imam Ali, and we see him himself as a miracle. Of course, Imam Ali himself, he doesn't see himself that way. He terms himself, he says, Ana abdun min abid Muhammad, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He says, I'm one of the slaves from amongst the slaves of Muhammad. So Ali alayhi salatu wasalam, even though he has such an exalted position, he was always filled with humility. And we know that he is one of the extraordinary signs of Allah. No matter if he himself, he just calls himself an abdun min abida Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So in our discussions, we want to take a deep look at the life and the legacy of Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wasalam. Tonight, we'll start with his birth. So we'll start talking about the birth of Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam from tonight. Khayr. As we all know, Imam Ali alayhi salam, he was born, and the only person ever to have been born, inside the Kaaba itself. Yani not within the precincts of the Haram al-Sharif, not that he was born in Mecca. This is the only person ever recorded to have been born inside the Kaaba. And just so you can get an idea of the time frame of this, I made some notes so that we can understand like when this birth happened, right? So it was the 13th of Rajab, 30th year Amul Fil. So 30 years after Abraha tried to destroy the Kaaba. At about 23 years before the Hijrah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, roughly 10 years before the beginning of Bi'that, before the beginning of the message. At this time, Prophet was roughly 30 years old. And the accounts are thus. According to the historians, Fatima bint Asad, the mother of Imam Ali, the wife of Hazrat Abu Talib, she was pregnant with Imam Ali, and the term of her pregnancy had gone over its time. You know, like, I forget what they call it now, like an overdue baby, right? And she was suffering from the discomforts of carrying this baby for that long. I mean, the ladies in the audience, they know, like, carrying a baby full term, when you get closer and closer to the end of that term, you're like on countdown. You're looking forward to delivery. It's uncomfortable. Babies put themselves in the most difficult positions in the stomach of the mother, pushing on this organ, pushing on that, and it gets really uncomfortable as the time comes to give birth. Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam, he went over that time. And this discomfort was really affecting his mother, Fatima bint Asad alayhi salam. And so Hazrat Abu Talib advises his wife, you need to walk. And this is advice that we give women even till today. Like when the labor is coming close or we want to induce labor, we tell ladies to walk, right? Take exercise, walk around. Hazrat Abu Talib alayhi salam, he tells his wife Fatima bint Asad, you need to walk, you need to go and do tawaf of the Kaaba, right? So in this way, two things are accomplished. She does the walking to induce the labor, and she's doing supplication to Allah also there to relieve her situation. It's recorded that on one of these tawaf, when she gets to the corner of Kaaba that's known as Rukn Yamani, it's called that because it faces towards Yaman. The Rukn Yamani, when she gets to this corner of the Kaaba, really the intensity of the contractions at this time, it's not that she was going into labor, but she may have been going into labor at this time, but her discomfort increased, and she leaned upon the Kaaba in this moment, there near the Rukn Yamani, and she supplicated to Allah, oh Allah, then you know that we are of your humble servants, and we trust in you only. Because you have to remember, before the rise of Islam, a large number of Bani Hashim were followers of the religion of Hazrat Ibrahim. They were Hanif. They were in the Hanif religion, right? Hanif, interestingly enough, just a little sidebar, Hanif means those who reject, those who deny, right? And Rafizi also, it means those who reject or those who deny. Hanif were rejecting and denying idolatry, and that's how they came across this name, Hanif. Many members of Bani Hashim were Hanif, in the Hanif religion of Hazrat Ibrahim. And they used to pray to Allah, and Kaaba was a holy place to them. Their prophet Hazrat Ibrahim and Ismail had built this Kaaba. So she supplicates to Allah, leaning on this Rukn Yamani, on the corner of this Rukn Yamani, and a crack, an opening opens up in the wall of the Kaaba. And Fatima bint Asad herself, she says, that when this opening opened up in the corner of the Kaaba, she felt as though she was pushed inside. That some unseen force had pushed her inside the Kaaba. And she went inside the Kaaba. Excuse me. She went inside the Kaaba, and the opening in the wall, the crack in the wall behind her, closed. And inside the Kaaba is where she gave birth to Amir al-Mu'mineen, Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib, alayhi salatu wa salam. Salawat Allahumma salla ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So she gave birth inside of the Kaaba. Now I want to make something clear. Kaaba, it's a busy place. People witnessed this. People saw this happen. It's not that it happened in a vacuum. People witnessed this event happen. Amongst the people who witnessed this happening was Abbas, the uncle of Hazrat Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He witnessed the wall open. He witnessed that Fatima was almost pushed in, kind of. That she went inside the Kaaba. And he immediately went to go try to unlock the doors. He raises the alarm in town. He begins spreading the word far and wide, along with other witnesses. But the primary source that we have and that we've relied on is this Abbas, the uncle of Hazrat Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He witnesses Fatima bint Asad go inside the Kaaba, and he raises the alarm. He begins to spread the news. The keys are brought for the Kaaba. People try to unlock the door. By no means can they unlock this door. And for 3 days, Fatima bint Asad and her baby Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib were inside the Kaaba. And after these 3 days were over is when the lock on the doors of the Kaaba on its own fell off, and he had opened on its own, and Fatima bint Asad exited from the Kaaba with her brand new baby in her arms. Incidentally, Hazrat Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was away at the time of these happenings and had returned. And as Fatima comes out of the Kaaba with brand new baby Ali in her arms, the first face after his mother's that Imam Ali sees and sets his eyes on in this dunya is the face of Hazrat Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Now, I had made some notes here, and I want to refer to them very quickly. Some have come and have said that the birth of Imam Ali alayhi salam inside the Kaaba is Shia myth. And so I wanted to take just a couple minutes this evening to kind of just list a couple people here that I have in the notes, because people will come out and say, oh, it's a Shia myth, Imam Ali wasn't born inside the Kaaba. Scholars from all sects of Islam, including some of the names that I'll mention to you, have recorded that Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam is the only person ever to have been born in the Kaaba. Going back as far as Al-Mas'udi, he mentions it, one of the great scholars from our Sunni brothers. Muhammad ibn Talha al-Shafi'i, one of the great scholars of the Shafi'i madhab. Sibti ibn Jawzi, great historian, he's also mentioned this. Ibn Sabar Maliki, one of the great Maliki scholars, has also mentioned that Imam Ali is the only person to have been born in the Kaaba. And the last one I'll mention, because I have a list here maybe of, 12, 15, 20, maybe ulama scholars that have recorded that Imam Ali is the only person ever to have been born in the Kaaba. The last one I'll mention to you is a contemporary alim, head of Al-Azhar University in Cairo, Muhammad Sayyid Tantawi, has mentioned in his Min Fada'il al-Asharat Asharat al-Mubashirin bil-Jannah. In this book on the fadail of those who have been guaranteed paradise, he mentions peace be upon you, O Ali ibn Abi Talib, because you were born inside the Kaaba. Salawat Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahu. Is better?
The audio was a little bit on the low side.
So khair inshallah. Shall I continue inshallah?
Inshallah. Bismillah.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So, Ali is the only person ever to have been born inside the Kaaba. This birth of his inside the Kaaba is miraculous. And to make you understand the magnitude of this birth inside the Kaaba, let me relate to you the story of the birth of Hazrat Isa alayhi salam. It's related in ahadith and some of it in the Quran also, that when Hazrat Maryam went into labor and wanted to give birth to Hazrat Isa alayhi salam, then the first place she went to was the temple where she was staying. Her first place of recourse to give birth to Hazrat Isa was the temple where she was staying. However, when she entered the temple in this condition to give birth, she was forced out, quote unquote forced out, told to leave. Because the temple is not a place to give birth to babies. You don't go into a holy sanctuary to give birth to babies. And so she was put out from the holy sanctuary. And this is where in Quran it relates that she besook herself to the east and found refuge under a fig tree. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala informed her through the angels that she should give birth here and in the safety and in the shade of this fig tree. And when she's hungry, she can refresh herself with the figs. If she's thirsty, she can refresh herself with the water in the stream that ran very close by to her. But in the case of Hazrat Isa and Maryam, they were put out of the temple because the temple wasn't a place to give birth. But in the case of Fatima bint Asad alayhi salam and Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam, they were pushed into the temple. They were ushered into the temple to give birth. Now I want to make this very clear. We're not in any way diminishing the birth of Hazrat Isa. Right? He's a miracle in and of himself. And one of the great prophets of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But we want to show you the magnitude of Imam Ali being born inside the Kaaba. No one had been born in a sanctuary before this time. Let's move along so you can understand the wondrous, magnanimous nature of Imam Ali's birth inside the Kaaba. Send us salawat, inshallah. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam, he's born inside the Kaaba, inside the holy sanctuary. To understand the magnitude of this birth, we have to talk a little bit about the status of the Kaaba, the position of the Kaaba in Makkah, in Arabia, before the rise of Islam. The Kaaba at this time of Imam Ali's birth. Now, we all know as Muslims, and it was accepted by the Arabs of that time, that Kaaba, well, let me say this. It was accepted by the Arabs of that time that Ibrahim built the Kaaba. We know that the first foundation of the Kaaba was laid by Hazrat Adam alayhi salatu wasalam. So this sanctuary reaches back to the dawn of humanity, right? It's a very old sanctuary. And they say that over the years it had fallen into disrepair. And certainly the flood of Hazrat Noor had really put the Kaaba in a bad position as far as structurally was concerned. And it's after the flood of Hazrat Noor that Ibrahim and his son Ismail are commanded to go and to rebuild, to renovate this structure. And this is the story that we have in Quran. I read some of it for you, some of these verses for you this evening in the khutbah. It's in Surah Al-Baqarah, just because I'm not going to go back, right? It's a long discussion. I'm not going to go back, so you read it for yourself. Surah Al-Baqarah from verse 125. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's around there that he starts talking about commanding Ibrahim to go and renovate, to raise the foundations of the Kaaba. Now, there's a difference of opinion. Some people say that Ibrahim built the Kaaba. Most of our historians, most of our ulama say, no, Adam built it. Ibrahim and Ismail rebuilt it. One interesting note that I ran into in my preparation for this speech, Samaritans. You know the Samaritans? They're a sect of Jews, kind of, right? The Samaritans, really, they came about historically when the tribes, when Israel, back in the day, was divided into the kingdom of Judah, and the other kingdom that they had back in the day. My memory's failing me. Samaritans were those northern Israelites, right? And they kept a lot of their old school Yahudi religion alive. Google them, Samaritans. In their literature, they have a book called, I think, like the stories of Hazrat Musa, or here it is. In the Samaritan book, the book of the secrets of Moses, Samaritans believe that it was Ismail and his firstborn son that renovated the Kaaba, right? And I'm just throwing that in there as a piece of trivia. You know, I'm preparing for my retirement with trivia so I can get on Jeopardy one day. So this might be useful for you. Tuck this piece of trivia away. Samaritans also believe that Ismail built the Kaaba. They just think that Ismail and his eldest born son were the ones who built the Kaaba. So this Kaaba was a very holy place before even the rise of Islam. I want to make something clear too. Kaaba is the only cubic temple built of stone in Arabia. There were numerous other Kaabas, but they weren't built of stone. And some of the scholars say that actually, like historians, right? Like not Islamic scholars, like historians, what they're saying is that these other wooden Kaabas that or from other structure, like not from stone, that were found around Arabia, were replicas of the Kaaba in Mecca. But only the Kaaba in Mecca was the only Kaaba made of stone, cubic structure. And at one time, it included what we know as the Hatim, right? That circular part, that low wall that you see close to the Kaaba when you look at the pictures today. This was also once part of the Kaaba. Some people say that even Hazrat Rasulullah had an intention to rebuild it with the Hatim included. And it's mentioned in history that Ibn Zubayr, that during his rule of Makkah, when he rebuilt the Kaaba to include this Hatim, right? This extra portion of the Kaaba. But of course, Kaaba has been destroyed and wrecked many times since that time, and rebuilt and renovated many times since that time. But Kaaba was a very holy place, very sanctified place, even before the rise of Islam. Mecca was a holy city to Arabs before the rise of Islam. And Kaaba was its centerpiece. So we have to understand something. Everyone that lived in Mecca was in some way, shape, or form attached to Kaaba. And I mean, like today, in today's modern world, right, we might not understand this, and this is why I'm taking the time to really go over this aspect tonight of it. We want to understand the life and legacy of Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam, right? Today in our modern world, we might have huge religious structures in our towns, right? Huge cathedrals in our cities in the West. Or let's go to the East. In Mashhad, right? The burial place of our eighth Imam, Imam Ali ibn Musa al-Rida, alayhi salatu wasalam. How many people in Mashhad do ziyarat every day? I mean, I'm sure you got people in Mashhad that live in Mashhad that don't do ziyarat not even once a year. You got people that live in Mashhad whose livelihood is not attached to the shrine of Imam Reza alayhi salatu wasalam. Or let's go to Qom, for instance. In Qom, you have the shrine there of Hazrat Ma'asuma alayhi salam. Now, definitely, Qom is a much smaller city. And a lot more people rely on that shrine in some way, shape, or form, directly or indirectly, for their livelihood, for their life. The shrine of Hazrat Ma'asuma can be said to feed many people in Qom, right? Directly or indirectly. But still, you'll have people who live in Qom that they don't make their living in any way, shape, or form, directly or indirectly, from the income that's generated by the shrine of Hazrat Ma'asuma. You have people that live in Qom that don't visit the shrine of Hazrat Ma'asuma any daily or weekly or monthly, maybe not even in a year. Kaaba was not like that. Yani Kaaba in Mecca, everybody was attached to that Kaaba. Yani socially, politically, economically, There was no escaping the influence of Kaaba in people's lives in Mecca. It wasn't like our modern day cathedrals, or where we have imamzades and imams buried, and even holy places like Kaaba and Medina and these places, right? Back then, people relied on that Kaaba. Everyone was attached to it. I'll give you some example, inshallah. Send us salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. So everyone in Mecca was in some way, shape, or form dependent on the Kaaba. So for instance, socially, it was a holy sanctuary. If anyone needed to seek safety for any reason, like, remember, there were no police in Mecca. There were no judges in Mecca. It was trial by mob. And what they decided, you'd probably get lynched. And if you didn't have a strong tribe to defend you, you were in trouble in Mecca. In this way, Kaaba served a very important social significance in that you could seek refuge there until your matter could be sorted out, until you could find some supporters to back you up, or whatever the case would be. You could seek refuge at the Kaaba and be safe. It was also the center of social life in Mecca. I'd like to throw this out here real quick, just on another little sidebar. A lot of times when we talk about tabligh, dawah, right, to go out and spread the word of Islam, to proselytize, we want to go to the hood. And I'm not saying don't go to the hood. We got to go to the hood. But like a lot of times when we talk about tabligh and dawah, it's like that's the only place we go. That's like we got to go there to do tabligh and dawah. We got to go to the hood, right? And if you're not going to the hood, then you're not doing tabligh and dawah. I'm gonna make trouble here tonight. Prophet did go to the hood, but he didn't start in the hood. When he started doing his tabligh and his dawah, he went to the social center of the city. He didn't go to the hood. He didn't go to the place that was where the people were oppressed and living there in abject poverty. He dealt with those people too. And he did tabligh with them also. And he invited them to Islam also. But when he wanted to spread his message in that city, he went to the social center of the city. He went where? To Kaaba. So socially, Kaaba had this position, right? It was the center of social life in Mecca. Let me get back to my notes. Send us salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wajil farajahum. It was also the political center in Mecca. Quraysh, just like Al Saud today, right, claimed legitimacy for their leadership and their rulership based on the fact that they were the guardians and keepers of the holy sanctuary. And it's the same as today, right? That Al Saud, the only reason that they have any kind of status in the eyes of some Muslims is because they claim that they are the keepers and the guardians of the holy sanctuary of Mecca and Medina. So politically, Kaaba also plays a very central role. It legitimizes the rule. Not just today, but back then also. It legitimized the rule of those who were claiming to be the leaders in Mecca at that time. What about economically? So we've mentioned socially, we mentioned politically, economically. Economically, Kaaba was the lifeblood of Mecca. And just like today, the pilgrimage, one good thing about this corona lockdown is like Hajj is off this year. Saudis are losing money. Oil prices are down. The Hajj is called off. Their whole privatization plan has been wrecked. These guys are bleeding money this year. And part of the issue is that there will be no pilgrimage. The revenue that is generated directly and indirectly as a result of the pilgrimage is phenomenal. And it's a lot today, and relatively speaking, it was even more back then. Everybody economically was dependent directly or indirectly on the Kaaba for their livelihood. There were some of those who were directly getting income from that pilgrimage, and there were then so many other businesses and services and so many other people that got their income, gained their economic livelihood indirectly from the Kaaba, right? So Kaaba was that important at that time. Now, put these two things that we've mentioned together now. We've mentioned now two things, right? Number one, the miraculous birth of Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam inside the Kaaba. Number two, the status of Kaaba itself. Now I told you, Abbas ibn Abdul Muttalib, he witnessed Fatima bint Asad getting inside of the Kaaba when the crack opened. The first person who starts spreading the news is him. I'm going to just throw this out there. And I'm going to use the example of Hazrat Isa alayhi salatu wasalam also, right? Because I use this example a lot. You cannot tell me that people did not know who Isa was, like in his town and in his village when he was a kid. I mean, it's just not possible. Maryam, who's known, gets pregnant. You know how people talk. You know how people talk. Maryam, you ain't never had no man. You ain't never been with no man. Your parents was good people. And you come home pregnant, you know this story spread like wildfire around that town. Then when she comes with the child and she says, no, I don't got nothing to say. Talk to him. And the baby talks. You know this story got spread around town even faster than the first one. Now this boy grows up. What's he play with? Dirt. He makes birds out of them, breathes into them, they come alive and fly away. You can't tell me that people didn't know this boy in his town. Then he was marked, famous. That's the boy who was born miraculously, who breathes into birds and they come alive. He can heal you. I mean, it's... The same thing certainly happened with Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam. Yani that news was spread in Mecca. Fatima bint Asad, inside the Kaaba, gives birth. No one can get her out for 3 days. You know why Allah kept her? Look, I can't say I do. I know why. I'm just going to give you my stupid hypothesis. You know why Allah kept her in there 3 days? It's not just for her to recover, because, you know, usually ladies got a little time in the hospital to recover, right? It's not just for recovery, but so that the word can spread more. We can't get the doors open. It's been 3 days now we can't get the doors open. And then when the door does open, it doesn't open natural. Somebody comes with the key. Oh, now the key works. You must have been doing it wrong, you fool. Nah, Baba, you were doing it wrong before. It wasn't ready to be open. Now the news spreads more. This Ali was known in town as the one who was born inside the Kaaba. His fame, his status was established on that. Yani everybody knew who Ali was. Because Kaaba's that central to Mecca. Kaaba's that important to every Meccan, no matter their religion. If they're a Hanif, if they're a Mushrik, Kaaba is their centerpiece. It didn't matter. Like Kaaba, like it's a good example of religious pluralism, right? Everybody went there to pray. And not just everybody in Mecca, everybody from around Arabia went there to pray. No matter what cult you were in, no matter what God, you could have been worshiping Hubal, you could have been worshiping, what's the other ones I can't even, Latan, Uzza, and these. No matter what cult you were in, you go to Kaaba. You worship Allah, you go to Kaaba. You're a Hanif, you go to Kaaba. Why Abraha wanted to destroy it? Huh? Because it was that central. This thing is that central. You can't tell me Ali's born inside of it. Nobody don't know about it. Everybody knew about it. It spread his fame in Mecca far and wide. These two things put together, the miraculous birth of Imam Ali inside the Kaaba and the status of Kaaba itself, it's going to form in the future a sanad for Hazrat Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. It's going to give Prophet a confirmation of his prophethood almost. Like we talk about, just to make it clear, right? Prophets bring miracles with them to confirm their prophethood, right? Because I can jump up now and say I'm a prophet, but all I can do is little parlor magic tricks and make my kids laugh, right? So your prophethood cannot be, done by, look, let me pull a nickel out of your ear, No, you have to bring miracles, something to prove that you are who you say you are. Now, we often list out the miracles of Prophet, chief amongst them being Quran. And this is the month of Quran. But one of the biggest miracles that Prophet brought with him to confirm his prophethood, to prove his prophethood to the people of Makkah, was Ali Abi Talib alayhi salatu wasalam. Imam Ali will become one of the proofs, one of the miraculous proofs of the prophethood of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, simply by his status of being born inside the Kaaba, added to the Kaaba, its own status. Now we'll talk about more of this as the nights go along. But one thing I want to make clear to you then, so let's start to turn the corner for this evening, huh? We understand the status of Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam. We recognize him. We understand the status of Kaaba. And we recognize that. And we realize how great it is that this person is born inside this place. But this great status of Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wasalam, it also causes a type of envy in people. And this is something that we're going to talk about, inshallah, in these nights. This envy, this spark of envy that was started in the hearts of some people because of the status of Imam Ali. And not just because of his status of his birth, but continuing throughout his life, the attention that was given to him by Prophet. The position that was given to him by Prophet. The love that was shown to him by Prophet. All of these things together, they create a spark of envy in the hearts of people. What's the definition of envy? I looked it up. Give me a minute. Salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum. Ya Allah. Hasad. Here it is. Envy. A feeling of discontented or resentful longing aroused by someone else's possessions, qualities, or luck. Resentment towards Ali, based on his status and his qualities, was rampant amongst the early Muslims. And its starting place is here at his birth, inside the Kaaba. That seed of envy is planted. Now I want to tell you something about envy. We're going to go a little bit off-road real quick when we talk about envy. Envy is a very dangerous something for us to get involved with. In Surah Al-Falaq, it's mentioned hand in hand with witchcraft. وَمِن شَرِّ النَّفَاثَاتِ فِي الْعُقَدِ وَمِن شَرِّ حَاسِدٍ إِذَا حَسَدَ. We seek refuge in Allah from the people who blow on knots. When they blow on knots, I don't know what it is about blowing on knots, but hey, witchcraft is real, you know. Because even, look, it's not just Quran that talks about blowing on knots. In the Caribbean, we got a thing, we call it voodoo or obia, right? And one of the common things that's known in the Caribbean about obia is you tie a knot. You have to tie a knot and talk on it, speak on it, blow on it. This is an ancient, look, it's a science like any other science, right? That's why when people come to me and say, oh, somebody put a spell on me, I say, psh, get out of here. One guy came and told me some young lady put a spell on him. Buddha Baba put a spell on you. I'm sure she did. Nobody knows how to do this stuff. And to do this stuff, you got to be in your 60s and up. It takes years to be a alim rabbani. It takes years of training to go on that side also, right? But this hasad is a real something. And in this chapter of Quran, it's mentioned side by side with witchcraft. And there's a reason for that. We all know about Chishme Bad, right? The evil eye, right? What's the evil eye all about? It's about hasad. I want you all to understand something about hasad before we move on and finish up for this evening. Because it's good for us to know this for ourselves, for our own heart, right? Why is hasad mentioned in Quran along with witchcraft? Because it's that powerful. Me being hasud of you can cause bad things to me and to you. That's why we seek refuge in hasad, seek refuge in Allah from hasad in Surah Al-Falaq, right? Because it's that powerful. Human beings, and we don't realize this about ourselves, right? Why do we pay so much attention to intention in Islam? Even we say, al-a'malu bi-niyyat, right? that your actions are based on your intentions, right? Why do we put so much emphasis on husn dhan, having a good opinion of people? As Buddhists would say, good thought. And Buddhists, they talk about what? Good thought, good words, good action is Buddhism, right? In Islam, we have that same emphasis too, emphasis on good thought. And the reason is because when we're hasud, when we're practicing hasad, when we're envious, it is a chishme bad. It is an evil eye. Yani when I'm flexing that envious energy on you and looking at you like, because you got something and I want it, right? That has a bad vibe that comes with it. And it can have an effect definitely on the one who's envious and almost certainly on the person who's envied. Unless they got some protection of Allah, they read Surah Al-Falaq, they're humble people, obedient people, they can get away from that. But this energy is a real energy. And they were flexing that energy on Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam, Baba, from day one. You can bet there were people in Mecca who were envious that a member of Bani Hashim, that the son of Abu Talib is born inside the Kaaba. Yani this envy between Bani Umayyah and Bani Hashim, it goes back. There was envy being practiced between these two going back some time. Bani Hashim was looked at in this way by Bani Umayyah. So you can guarantee that there were people in town who were envious of the status of Ali being born inside the Kaaba. Envy, when it gets intense enough, it turns to hatred. And it might start off as something, oh man, he got all that stuff, and oh, I just don't like him because he got that. But as it boils and it cooks, it becomes hatred. And we can see this envy turn to hatred in regards to Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam. We can see it very clearly in his own life, but if we really want to see it super clear, then you look into the lives of his successors and his descendants. And I'll give you one example tonight. When Umar Assad's army was confronting Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam and their companions at Karbala, and Umar Assad's army was asked, why are you doing this? This is the grandson of Rasulullah. These are the members of Ahl Bayt Rasul, the household of Prophet. You know what their reply was? This is our revenge. This is in vengeance for what your father did to our fathers. Yani, they maintained that envy and hatred in their hearts until they could release it and satisfy it with the blood of Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam. Yani, this envy was a deep-seated envy. I spent today looking for the statement of Abdurrahman ibn Muljam la'natullah alayh when he struck Imam Ali. But I want to make it clear to you. I'll find it, but I want to make it clear to you. What led to the death of Imam Ali? What led to the shahadat, the killing of Imam Ali? It was nothing more than envy that it turned to hatred. Some will try to say it was Khawarij, and it was. Others will come and say it was Khawarij and it was a plot with some other people involved. And we'll talk about that too. And it was. But at the root of it all was hasad. Meaning, at the root of it all was envy of Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam. People saw where he had been born. They saw how Prophet raised him. We'll talk some more about this tomorrow night. You know, Prophet raised Imam Ali in his own household. Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam himself, he says, I was a baby in the household of Prophet. And he used to feed me by chewing the food first. You know, back then they didn't have baby food. So Prophet would chew the food first and then feed Ali with his own hands. And Ali slept in the bed of Prophet, was raised in the presence of Prophet. This excited the envy of the people. So What makes Ibn Muljam lay in wait for Imam Ali at Masjid Kufa on the 19th night of Shahr Ramadan? What makes him stay there all night waiting for Imam Ali? It's envy and hatred. What makes him attack Imam Ali in the holiest month, in a holy place, at a holy time of day, and in the most holiest of positions? And Imam Ali was in sajda. It was nothing more than envy that had turned to hate. When Imam Ali alayhi salam picks up his head from the sajda, Ibn Muljam moves in the crowd, steps forward, and strikes Imam Ali, incidentally, on the same place in his forehead where that Mal'un Amr ibn Abd Wud had struck Imam Ali in the battle of Khandaq. On the day when Prophet said, today all of Iman is facing all of Kufr, Imam Ali received that wound in his forehead before dispatching Amr to the hellfire. And again on that day when Imam Ali was attacked on the 19th night of Shahr Ramadan by Ibn Muljam and Mal'un, he was struck again in that same place, yani to bring back the memory of all of Iman facing all of Kufr. I'll show you, just to finish for this evening then, the envy and hatred of these people. You can see it clearly at Karbala. Every slap that the children of Hussein received was in envy and hatred of their father and grandfather. Why do you think that when they're parading these captives from Karbala to Kufa and then from Kufa to Sham, they don't allow them to cry? Any sound that they make to mourn their loved ones, any cry that they make, they're quickly beaten, hit on the head with the staffs of the spears to shut them up. Because when you're an envious person, you cannot bear to hear the sound of the name of the person that you hate. These people had developed so much envy and hatred in their hearts towards Ahl Bayt alayhim salam, towards Ali, towards Imam Hussein, towards Imam Hassan, that if the children should cry for their grandfather, the enemies wouldn't be able to stand hearing the name of Imam Ali. They would beat them to shut them up. The envy of Ahl Bayt alayhim salam that turned to hatred is clearly on display at Karbala. ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم ولعنة الله على قوم الظالمين آمين رب العالمين. We ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala should have mercy on our souls, forgive us of our sins. Ya Allah, guide us to your straight path, set firm our feet in your path, strengthen our limbs in your service, and hasten the appearance of your Imam, and make us his helpers and supporters upon his return. ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. صلوات. So if there's any questions or answers, please feel free to submit them now on YouTube, inshallah. We'll give a few minutes, inshallah, for the questions and or answers to start coming in. Ya Ali Madad. I'm going to refill my drink real quick, brothers. Ya Ali. No questions yet, guys? Holy smokes. That either means that everybody understood everything, right? And we got no questions, everything was real clear. Or nobody understood anything. Like, don't nobody know what's going on. So, since there doesn't seem to be any questions or answers coming in, then we'll end with dua faraj, inshallah. Is that okay? أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك توعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Make sure to tune in tomorrow night, same station, same time, inshallah. Salawat.